everyone, this is Yana for SimonsSStamp.com, and thank you for joining me today. Welcome to another episode for my bi-monthly Yippee for Yana video series. In today's video, I'm showing you how to use a stencil to create a subtle textured background for a card with the help of dry embossing. Here's the card we will be making today, and if you look closely at the background, you'll see that it has a little bit of gorgeous texture to it. This background is actually debossed with one of Simon's new stencils, the circular lace stencil. Aside from this stencil, I will also use a few other products to create this floral project. I have the Blooming Day stamps and coordinating dies, the cone building set, and I'll use the ice cream cone from here to make a wrapper for my bouquet, and finally a beautiful love stamp set for my sentiment. So let's jump right in. I'm going to start by saying that you can most definitely dry emboss with stencils. The depth of the impression will depend on how thick the material out of which the stencil is made of is. Simon's stencils are pretty thick and durable, so they always leave a nice invisible impression on my paper. If you use a thinner stencil, the embossing and debossing you will get might not be as deep. To dry emboss with a stencil, you'll need to use a die-cutting machine and an embossing mat. I am using my Platinum 6 machine from Spellbinders, but this can be done in any other machine. I am following the sandwich instructions for dry embossing, and I have my base platform. Next, I need to place my stencil and my paper. First, I'm going to align the paper on the stencil. My paper is cut to 4 by 5¼ inches, and my stencil is about 6 inches in diameter. I want the design to be centered on my panel, so I'm making sure to align it in the center. You can also have it offset to the side if you like. Next, I am going to add a 10 embossing mat. This mat comes included with Spellbinders die-cutting machines, or if you have a machine from a different manufacturer, you can buy it separately. Just make sure to follow the dry embossing sandwich instructions for dies in your die-cutting machine. And finally, I'm going to cover this with a blue embossing plate. You can also add a paper shim to slightly increase the pressure. Here I have a piece of paper that is folded in half, and I'm going to place this over the mat under the blue embossing plate, and we'll run this through the machine to dry emboss. And here is my panel all nice and embossed. This is the debossed side, and this is the embossed side. Both sides are beautiful, and most of the time you can use both sides when you dry emboss with a stencil, unless you have a stencil with words or numbers. Then you'll be able to use just one side of the paper for the text to be readable. Here are the two backgrounds side by side. The embossed one is a bit more crisp compared to the debossed one, but both sides are just stunning. Obviously, you can use a background like this for just about any card. You can also make these backgrounds on colored paper, not just white. They actually look fabulous on craft. To finish my card, I'm going to stamp a few images and create a floral arrangement, or this can also look like a floral ice cream cone, whatever you like best. I'm using my Mini Misty and stamping images onto a piece of white paper. This is Nina Solar White, 80 pound. I used Sunshine ink to stamp the ice cream cone, a Hot Mama ink color to stamp the large flower, Magnolia to stamp 2 small flowers, Twirling Tutu to stamp the floral branch, and Thistle to stamp all of the leaves for this card. I also heat embossed the word love in Simon's Antique Gold embossing powder onto this panel. Next, I used coordinating dies and cut all of these images out in my die-cutting machine. After having all of the parts and pieces ready, I foam mounted my dry embossed background onto an A2 top folding card base. I love how beautiful this looks when it's white on white. I think there's just nothing quite like it. Using foam adhesive, I foam mounted all of my die cuts in place, creating a floral arrangement. I doubled up my foam adhesive in some spaces to add more dimension. Lastly, I added the large heat embossed love word and added a little white heat embossed on black strip that reads sending to my sentiments. So my sentiment reads sending love, but really this design is suitable for many different card occasions. I embellished my card using gold glitter enamel dots and also added a little bow under the florals. So here are the two cards and backgrounds side by side, and you can clearly see the difference between an embossed background on the left and a debossed background on the right. Which one do you like best? I think I like the embossed one better, but I also like the soft look of the debossed background. I hope you'll give this idea a try. As always, do tag us on social media so we can take a peek at your projects. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up and to subscribe to this channel if you haven't yet done so. Thank you so much for joining me today. I will see you next time. Bye!